Welcome to the Sport Passport version 2.0 launch event. I'm James Candy, the comms manager for Sport Passport, and I'm really excited to walk you through today's event where we'll look at the latest enhancements of Sport Passport and the refreshed and recharged learning platform. This afternoon, you'll get an exciting, exclusive first look at the latest enhancements of Sport Passport, a platform designed with your organisation's need in mind by sports experts. Version 2.0 is all about making learning more intuitive, engaging and efficient. We'll walk you through Sport Passport's journey from its humble beginnings to the cutting-edge features of the latest version. You'll hear directly from some of our customers about how they use the platform to streamline their programmes and ensure every lesson is impactful. Plus, we'll be gathering your feedback throughout the event. We really want to make sure this is an engaging event where your feedback is valued. Don't forget to stick around to the end where we have our exclusive prize draw. One of you lucky viewers will earn 3 months free access to the Sport Passport platform. The Q&A function is open in the chat, so please dump any questions you like in there and we'll be sure to get around to them. And also, we'd love to gather some of your feedback in the Mentimeter, which should be just off screen by there. So, without further ado, I think I'd like to introduce you to our expert panel. First things first, we have Fergus Feeney, our Managing Director at Sport Passport. Fergus has a wealth of experience within sports and product development. We have a Commercial Director, John Fletcher, who's been really hands-on with our customers and helped build Sport Passport to its current form. We've got Rachel Bliscoe, the Senior Product Manager at Empyrean Digital, our technical partner. And Rachel will be able to answer your questions on anything technical, all the technical aspects and the enhancements we've made to Sport Passport. Rachel will also help onboard and support any of your needs. So I think without further ado, let's have a look back at Sport Passport's origin story. Fergus, you've been there for 8 years now. Just take us back to the kind of start of Sport Passport, its roots, and how we've grown it as a platform for everyone.
Well, it all started 10 years this year. So back in 2014, it all kicked off with a bit of investment from Sport Wales, a bit of investment from the national governing body, Swim Wales, into the development of a product which had huge potential. And the investors and stakeholders at the time had a lot of faith in the concept, which here we are 10 years later with multiple customers. It's sort of a testament to that original vision. I was introduced to the organisation and asked to be managing director back in 2016. My background was 20 years plus, as you mentioned, in technology, IT and telecoms, consumer products. So it really resonated with me, and I've got a huge passion for sport and nearly a decade of experience now working leading NGBs and performance sport environments. So the combination of that, just gave me real confidence that there was something in this, and the team around it that had brought the product on to that point were very inspiring. I went out to build the team, brought John in, brought other people technical people in to help us on that journey. And there was various iterations over the years, but hugely proud of where we got to with, like I said, multiple customers and on multiple different platforms, and very proud of what the team have achieved to kind of get to this point. So it's been very enjoyable. It's gone very quickly, but we're still learning, and we look forward to the future.
Absolutely. And John, here we stand now at version 2.0 launch. You've been boots on the ground for 7 years now, working really closely with Rachel and Empyrean Digital. Just talk to me a little bit about that collaboration and the relationship that we've developed over time.
Yeah, thanks, James. So I've been involved with Sport Passport for 7 years, director for 2, and around 5 years ago we engaged with Empyrean Digital, and it's been much more than I ever wished it could be, to be honest. They have not just become a partner, they're almost like our technical department of Sport Passport. They've got relationships with our customers, a very fluid relationship with ourselves, and yeah, it's a it's a really strong collaboration.
So that's a little bit about us. I think we should hear now from a couple of our valued customers. In the video we've put together here, let's hear firsthand about some of their insight and how they utilise Sport Passport to really enhance their offering.
Sport Passport's an integral part of how we manage swim lessons. We integrate it with our booking system, so it allows our swim managers and swim teachers to really use the product on poolside to really manage every class. The swim teachers use the tablets on poolside to mark the attendances, keep a track of all the progress. That's then available for the swim managers to see so they can support and deal with customer queries.
The reason we introduced Sport Passport to the Earth was mainly to make things a bit more accessible for us. We used to note the outcomes down on pen and paper and then have to log them onto an Excel spreadsheet then, so obviously it was very time consuming. So we thought that Sport Passport was a lot more, easier to use. It was easier for us also as parents. They get to see it from an outside point of view. Where they can see the outcomes and how the children are progressing. So yeah, it's just made our lives easier, to be honest with you.
It's been really instrumental in supporting our customers and, if you like, adding that unique selling point to what we offer. We know our customers look at it on a regular basis. So we have approximately 189,000 children on our swim lessons or sport courses every week. And we know that on average, every parent is looking at it twice a month through the parent portal. So we're really seeing the value and the need for those customers to be able to track their children's progress on a regular basis, and it just keeps them up to date with how their child's progressing.
I would recommend Sport Passport to any organisation out there. It's made our lives so much easier with updating outcomes and objectives for our participants in swimming.
So it's fantastic to hear from the Earth and everyone active there on that video. We'll be speaking to Joe Jones from the Earth later on in the session. But for now, we want to take some questions from you in the audience. We put the questions out there. We've received some through our social channels, through our email channels, and we want to take a bit more of a deep dive into them a little bit later on. First, let's get a more detailed look at the product with Rachel, who's going to talk you through a demo video. So you get more familiar with the product and how it suits the needs of learners, operators, and your instructors as well.
Okay, thanks, James. I'm sure everyone's really keen to see what Sport Passport does and what it looks like and what it can do. Bear with me, I'm going to be reading off the tablet for this. Okay, so Sport Passport consists of 3 interconnected interfaces for admins, instructors and learners. And these interfaces are all updated simultaneously in real time. So if you make an update in one, it's going to feed through into all of the others instantly. It's fully compatible with mobile phones, tablets and desktops, and it can adapt to any screen size. So it's perfect for using at the poolside or the pitch, your desk, or even from your sofa as well. It's also fully bilingual in English and Welsh, and that's switchable via a language toggle on all 3 interfaces. So now we're going to show you one by one what the individual interfaces look like, and we'll start with the admin portal. So you'll be given access to an admin portal which allows you to manage every aspect of your organisation, from frameworks through to centres, schools, instructors, learners and courses. On Sport Passport, you can create teaching frameworks or curriculums, and it comes with access to the Swim Wales framework built in if required, but it's also adaptable to any framework. So what we're showing here is creating a new course using that framework, setting the number of stages, assigning the centre, the instructor and the course capacity. So you create the course, and then you can create a series of sessions and times using this nice handy calendar tool here. I'm just going to pause there a second. As a provider, you can also manage your instructors and learners across all of your centres and sites, and you can add new users, remove users, view and edit their details, and catch up on learners' progress. So I just showed you the instructor there, and then this is the learner here. For larger organisations, you can create a centre manager who can basically manage everything within their centre. And they can do everything a provider admin can do, but the data is just going to be limited to their centre. So that was a really whistle-stop tour of the provider portal, and we're now going to look at the instructor portal. So as an instructor, you can teach your lessons directly from Sport Passport. So what we're doing here is just selecting a course from the timetable. Once selected, we can then mark the attendance and award stars against objectives as learners move through their course. And as I say, anything an instructor updates here is going to feed through directly to the learner portal in real time. If you click into a learner, you can see their progress, view their emergency contacts and medical details. And you can also add feedback notes to a particular learner on a particular session. So we'll just pause there a second. So Sport Passport also has a reliable offline mode, meaning that you can teach lessons from areas without Wi-Fi, like swimming pools or sports pitches. And you select that little yellow button there to go onto the offline mode. Then you can teach your lesson as you would normally. And then when you go back to the home screen, you can sync that data later when you have a Wi-Fi connection available. So that finishes the instructor portal. So we'll now go on to the learner portal. So as a learner or parent, you can track your progress through the learner portal. And Sport Passport will show you which trophies you've won, your progress against your course objectives and your attendance. And that's all available summarised here on your home screen. Or you can kind of click into individual elements and see more details. The trophies here can also be edited by admins, so you can add different images to make learning really fun and engaging. You can view your scheduled sessions on your timetable, but you can also book and pay for other available sessions using the integrated Stripe payment functionality here. You can access course resources to learn and practice at home, and this feeds through from the frameworks created by the admins, and it can include videos, links or PDFs, so it's really adaptable. And to make learning really interactive, we have this dragon game where kids can compete against their friends, and we find that they really enjoy this and they love trying to get to that first place on the leaderboard. Okay, so that's the end of the demo. A couple of things just to wrap up. So I just wanted to say, to get you onboarded onto Sport Passport, we'll work with you to upload all of your data and users into the admin portal. And then once they're added onto the system, they'll receive a welcome email with login information. If you have any questions, please feel free to use the chat functionality, and we'll either answer during our panel Q&A or we'll get back to you later.
Yeah, thank you, Rachel. Yeah, as Rachel mentioned, the QA chat function is open, so please do put your questions in there, and if we can't get to them in this section, we'll be sure to answer them after the session. John or someone will be in touch. If you just put your details in there, we'll definitely be in touch. So we've had a couple of questions come in. Let's dive straight in. Fergus, a tough one to kick us off. What sets Sport Passport apart in a competitive market with learning platforms? What is it about Sport Passport that sets it apart?
Very good question. There are multiple products out there. There are some very good products in the market, which obviously, you know, being in the competitive space and the commercial space, we've looked at many of them and done our research. In my opinion, I think what sets us apart is the product is designed by sport people for the sports sector. So I think my last look at this around the team was there was 100+ hours of, or 100+ years of experience in the team within sport, within pathway development, sport development at various different levels, performance sport, etc. And we've interfaced with lots of different organisations. So we've built that tacit knowledge has gone into the design of the sport and design of the Sport Passport product, and working in partnership with, you know, highly talented people at Empyrean Digital. So I think that sets us apart, is that knowledge of sport and the fact that it's designed specifically for the sport environment that we understand very well. I think the second point is we're not a huge company. We've done very well, got multiple customers, a large customer base, and we're growing all the time, but we're accessible. So I'm involved day to day with the product as managing director, as is John. We talk to customers. We're on the end of the phone. We interface and work with the technical team through demos or answering questions and just dealing with the commercial piece. So we don't just sign contracts and bring customers on board and you never see them again. We're with the customer every step of the way. So I think that's a really unique selling point for us.
Absolutely. And John, we've seen some of our customers implement Sport Passport across their offering, across the sport offering, the leisure offering. We've had a question through specifically about athletics, a multidiscipline sport. Is Sport Passport adaptable? Could it cope with, say, an athletics club's needs or an NGB's needs?
Absolutely, James. So one of the key features of version 2.0 is the flexibility of the product. So now it doesn't matter how large the framework is. It can be 1,000 stages with 1,000 objectives. It all seamlessly integrates into Sport Passport.
Absolutely. And we're here today at the Welsh launch, fully bilingual software. But if there's someone watching, say, in France, in Paris now, in Italy, in Germany, how adaptable is the language side of Sport Passport as well?
Very adaptable. We have some customers abroad at the moment, but our ambition is for Sport Passport to be global. So part of version 2.0 is we can adapt Sport Passport into any language.
And Rachel, obviously adaptable for language, but adaptable for people with differing needs, with varying needs, people who use screen readers, visually impaired, para athletes will be using this software. Yeah. Just talk us through some of the work we've done to make it as inclusive as possible.
Yeah, sure. Great question. So we've worked really hard on Sport Passport to make sure that it is inclusive. It's really core to who we are as a business. So there's a few ways that we addressed that when we were building 2.0. The first thing to say is that all three of the interfaces that I showed you a minute ago are fully compatible with the WCAG 2.1 standard, which is a bit of a mouthful, but that's kind of a recognised accessibility standard. And it means that people that have visual impairments or potentially people that need to use screen readers and things like that to access websites can use Sport Passport seamlessly. And then there are a few features that we've implemented as well. So again, I've sort of flashed this up earlier, but you can see that providers can input learners' medical details into Sport Passport and it will store that for the instructor so that when the instructor comes to actually teach the session, it's going to flag it on their tablet to say this learner has a medical condition. And that's so that the instructor can provide that, very personalised learning experience for them. John has also mentioned the adaptability of the frameworks, and that applies to para sport too. Sport Passport can happily take on a para sport framework with any sort of specialist requirements for objectives and stages. We can do that as well.
Absolutely, and a lot of this came to be through our really thorough discovery phase. Mm-hmm. Talk us through some of the other learnings that we got from that's helped shape the current product.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we did do a really extensive discovery on Sport Passport 2.0. So we talked to a lot of our providers, a lot of our instructors. We talked to 7,500 learners and parents. So we really did get a lot of views and feedback. And I think the biggest thing that came from that discovery was this need for a system that was very operationally solid. And so we addressed that in a couple of different ways. So firstly, we addressed it in the underlying infrastructure of Sport Passport. So the old system, the system that came before 2.0, was a great system. It was a product of its time, but technology moves on and we needed to make sure that, we knew that we needed to make the system more modern so that it could be as good as it really could be and could meet our users' requirements. So one of the first things we did is we migrated Sport Passport onto a cloud-based platform called Microsoft Azure. And obviously that comes with the reliability of the Microsoft name, but it also has made the system really efficient, it's really zippy, it's really quick, it's really responsive, and it can scale up and down as well. So it can really meet the needs of any sort of small clubs, small sports organisations, all the way up to, big big organisations like Fergus mentioned earlier, who might have hundreds of thousands of learners, hundreds of instructors that are all trying to access the system at the same time, and it can really cope with that. So that's one thing we did. Features-wise, operationally, there are a couple of things that we sort of put into the product. So the first one was a booking and payment system. So our users told us that was, well, providers specifically told us that was really, really fundamental to them being able to run their organisation. And secondly was the offline mode, which I showed you earlier, which enables instructors to be able to teach from your rugby pitch in the rain, which they told us was really, really important. So yeah.
Amazing, thanks Rachel. And obviously it's version 2.0, John, but we're not done there. Just talk us through some of the upcoming features that we're looking to implement.
Absolutely. Well, as Rachel alluded to, we are always interested in our customer needs, and we take the customer feedback in what Sport Passport can and can't do, and that's resulted in version 2.0. But yeah, we've got a great product roadmap now, including a more in-depth payment system, so maybe Google Pay and Apple Pay, and also some white labelling, so you'll be able to use your branding and your corporate colours for Sport Passport for the end user to see. So yeah, we're looking at different data reports that we can pull together. Some have gone onto this version and some are going to come in the future, but we're really excited about the future of Sport Passport.
Absolutely. And finally, Fergus, as a father of 4 girls, just how important is that learning journey from, you've seen it from the parent side, the learner side, but also for operators and instructors as well?
Yeah, it's really important. The quality of learning, we know with any lessons and any sport, the quality of learning is important. The quality of delivery, we've heard from everyone active and the ERD, they've got a very high standard of teacher and instructor within their sports and their environment, which is important, but also the tools that they use to make that learning experience three-dimensional and as efficient as it can possibly be. So having the ability for the operator, for the parents and for the child or the learner, child or adult, to experience that themselves, there are sort of 3 points of contact which are really, really important. And I think that does, again, separate the product out. We've been in Wembley with the FA talking about football and the wider UK football landscape and how football is taught across. John and I have been in Birmingham with England Athletics. We've been in small swim schools with maybe 15, 20 children. So, we've captured all of that kind of knowledge and experience, and we've tested the product in all those environments. So we believe we've got a product that's going to really help a child or a learner learn efficiently in an engaging way, and for them to get the best out of that experience.
Absolutely. Well, thank you to my panel. You've heard it from us now. Let's hear it from one of our customers now. We're delighted to be joined by Joe Jones from the Earth, the South Wales Sports Development Manager. How are you, Joe?
Nanda, good afternoon. I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
Yeah, not bad at all. I mean, the Earth, Wales's largest youth organisation, use Sport Passport for your swimming lessons. You're a fairly new customer, Joe. Just tell us about the impact that Sport Passport has had for you.
Yeah, so we came on board around April, May this year, after ongoing conversations with other of our partners. And it's been an absolute game changer. In all fairness, I don't think if I spoke to my staff, we can remember how we coped and we had that strong customer relationships and things without Sport Passport. The biggest thing for us is the Welsh language and the ability for us as staff, but also for our customers to be able to use a bilingual aspect. So it's been kind of huge for us. And it's just that engagement with our customers is vitally important to us. We've got around 8 different centres at the moment, around 75 courses, over 450 learners. So to be able to have that all in one place, it's been huge for us.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the scale of the Earth. Just maybe for people who aren't familiar, just talk a little bit about what you do and how you operate as a business.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, they were the largest youth organisation in Wales. So since around 1922, we provided opportunities for children and young people, and that's through various things. That's through sport, our youth and community, so art. We've got our residential centres, which are popular. I'm sure a lot of people are quite familiar with. Llangrannog and Glanllyn. We've got our Eisteddfodau, and then we've got our apprenticeship department. So we've got around 55,000 members. And yeah, so something for us as we're looking to build, we've obviously started with Sport Pastor through our swimming programme, which is one of our biggest things in the sport. But conversations that I'd like is to how we build that through the rest of our sports. So we're very big on gymnastics, athletics, football, rugby. So I think the impact it's had through our swimming programme is how can we develop that even further in what we deliver.
Yeah, that's great to hear. I mean, you mentioned the Welsh language and, developing from, potentially writing outcomes down on paper and then inputting them into Excel. But what product features have really sort of, been the most useful for you?
Yeah, I think also the ability to use the app without the Wi-Fi. Yeah. I'm sure we know kind of poolside Wi-Fi signal is very limited, so to be able to use the app without Wi-Fi. But I think the biggest thing is everything is in one place. So as I mentioned, we've got our different centres, our different courses and our learners, but it's just having everything in one place. And we've got instructors in and out. We've got kind of staff members. We onboard new instructors, but to be able to have that all in one place, it's very kind of easy for us. And the time consuming, as Tristan mentioned, to be able to go away and the next morning for staff to be able to sync that data, and that data is all in one place rather than having to from pen to paper to an Excel document.
Yeah, that convenience factor is big for us. Are you getting that feedback from your instructors that it's changed the game for them?
Absolutely, yeah. I have regular meetings with my staff, and I just think the impact this has had. It's allowed us to use our time more efficiently, to look at how we can develop our lessons and develop our programme in other spaces, instead of trying to provide 450 learners with individual feedback via email. So yeah, it's been kind of a really positive impact.
And is it a two-way thing? Have you had that same sort of feedback from parents and users as well?
Absolutely, before we'd have kind of various emails coming, how my child getting on and things like that. But I think obviously pool space is very limited, so a lot of our lessons are back to back. But having a quick kind of chat with parents just outside of poolside of how they're able to then go away, whether that's whether they're on holidays or during half-term breaks where our sessions don't run, they're able to go and focus on those objectives and those skills through following and tracking their progress of their child through the system. Amazing.
And obviously we'll be appealing to new customers here today, but talk us through your experience of becoming onboarding with the platform and the support you've received.
Yeah, it's been some fantastic from kind of John and Rachel. We had a lot of regular meetings in the build-up, and then we brought in kind of members of our swimming team, which kind of John and Rachel again, they were happy to maybe felt a lot of repetition. Going through kind of different aspects of the app, but even now we've been on board nearly 6 months. That support is still there. They're always we're kind of always having discussions, and they're always looking for ways to kind of develop and kind of look at their customers' needs. So yeah, I kind of can't fault the kind of support. They uploaded all of our data for us. So for us, they made the process very simple.
Amazing. And if someone's thinking about implementing the software, what would you say to them?
it's a no-brainer. I think kind of time's moving. Technology is obviously a big kind of factor at the moment. For us, it's definitely something we're going to be looking to kind of source out across other sports within our department. So I think, yeah, and the support we had from the guys and we continue to get, even though we've been on board for a long time now, it's just been great.
Amazing. Well, diolch yn fawr iawn. Thank you so much, Joe, for your time. Really appreciate it.
Diolch yn fawr iawn.
Thank you. So that was great to hear from Jo there, talking about her experiences. And in tomorrow's event, we'll hear from Ian Cotton from Everyone Active. So if you want to come back, tune in for that one as well. It's been a great session today. We've heard from our team, our customers, about the latest enhancements of Sport Passport and where we're taking the learning platform, where we're going with it as well. I think this is the moment you've all been waiting for. I'm going to now announce the winner of our raffle prize, so 3 months free access to Sport Passport. I'm delighted to say it's Chris Kibbe from An Hour in Leisure. Congratulations, Chris. One of the team will be in touch regarding your prize. But also, anyone who books a demo and ends up enrolling onto the software from now on will get that same offer, or 1 month free, sorry. So yeah, please get in touch with the team. Book a demo. There is a button right there below. And complete a follow-up survey as well. We'd really like to hear from you. And you'll be entered into a prize draw as well then too. So yeah, that about does it for us, I think, today. If you'd like to get in touch, book a demo, like I said below, or the team will be in touch with any questions you may have. Reach out, get in touch. We're here to field your questions, and thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you. Diolch yn fawr iawn. Thank you very much.